Okay. I am testing something out. I want to see if I can do Instagram Live and Twitch and YouTube and Twitter all at the same time. So if this explodes and nothing goes right with that, it's an experiment. But I thought I would take this opportunity to say happy late birthday to one of my favorite writers, Theodore Sturgeon, who wrote a story that super affected me when I was a kid. Shadow on the Wall in, oh, sorry, that's the bookmark. Shadow on the Wall in Alfred Hitchcock's Monster Museum. So, and the reason why it's kind of timely that Theodore Sturgeon's birthday just came up and I'm celebrating it is because it's a censorship experience for me. And a lot of you have seen me talking about censorship a lot lately. And that is because, of course, who likes censorship? Who believes in censorship? Whether you actually understand what censorship is or not, because I've seen censorship and morality confused a little bit here lately. But there's been a lot of problems in the United States with censorship and book banning lately, and even book burning, which I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. But just recently, my own Mid-Continental Public Library here in Kansas City, which is pretty metropolis, like an advanced area, I'll say. I'd like to think that we're pretty cool here. Anyways, the director, Steve Potter, just resigned because the new trustees are banning LGBTQ books and programs and diversity, things on diversity. So it's like pretty shocking. But before we all grab our torches and our pitchforks and everything, I just want to say, I think that they're coming from a place of love, and they really think that they're doing a good job with that. And that's what I would like to think, that nobody's being evil, that nobody's trying to do something terrible. And hello, Ralph Rowden. They are really, they think that this is in the best interest. So since I'm doing this experimental thing anyways, and it's Theodore Sturgeon's birthday, well, Saturday, I thought this would be a good time for me to share two experiences in my life that I have had with censorship personally. One is why censorship is bad and why it makes people angry, speaking from my personal experience. And one is why it was a good idea not to have censorship, and it was also a personal experience. So the first experience, why in my viewpoint, like from my lens and my experience, I get so angry about censorship is because back in second grade, St. Mary's St. Mary's private school in Cheyenne, Wyoming was where I went. And I was a very lonely, weird child. I didn't have a lot of connection with other kids. But I found this book in the library at St. Mary's. And I think it was my first experience probably with dark fiction or horror or anything like that. And I was absolutely blown away. It was very much a feeling of, oh, wow, I'm not alone. There's other people that think this. I found the stories in here very empowering, especially Theodore Sturgeon's Shadow on the Wall. And that story kind of connected the whole idea that the spooky things that I saw and who I was, and none of it was wrong, and that there was power there, and that there was maybe something to identify with. So that story affected me so much that I searched for it and searched for it and searched for it my entire life, and I found it probably a couple years ago, and tracking down the old vintage copies of these, which I love. Now I have quite a collection of these. That's how much that story affected me. Now, the censorship part is the nuns there, coming from a place probably of love and actual concern for me, decided that I was reading the book too much. It was in the library. And as soon as I would come back, then I think it was Tuesdays were library day, I would come back every Tuesday and I would renew my subscription or my checkout on this book over and over and over again, probably for half the year. And they decided that was probably unhealthy for me and I needed to broaden my horizons, which, is probably true. I was reading a lot of Alfred Hitchcock. I think I was keeping the book around just as a talisman at that point. And also, other people do want to read the book. But instead of telling me I had to read something else, or trying to introduce me maybe to other Alfred Hitchcock anthologies or similar reading. I mean, I discovered all the others myself later. They told me that I had to turn the book in 1 week because somebody else wanted it, but I could have it the week after. When I came back, they told me they had taken the book out of the library because I read it too much, and they felt like that was very unhealthy for me. Um, to a second grader, that was hugely devastating. I was very full of rage. I still have issues, probably with organized religion to this day, because of that experience. I am still angry at those nuns for taking my book, so much so it became my life's mission to find my own damn copy and keep it. So that's the personal bad part of censorship, how it affects us. Um, we don't have the right to tell other people what they can read. They will choose it for themselves. Right now, in the Mid-Continent Public Library, the issue is the LGBTQ books and other materials deemed obscene. And I get it, it's not about the subject matter of the books. And I don't typically read those books myself. It's outside of my experience. But I also don't read romance, and I don't read Westerns, and I don't read a lot of books. But that's the beauty of not being censored, is I can choose to read them or not. And so that's that's the personal reason why censorship makes me so angry. And why censorship is like the other viewpoint of that, like something that came out of my own life that was good because of a lack of censorship, was from second grade going forward to the 80s, and I was a punk rocker. And I was living on the street with a bunch of other punk rockers, and we were like a really rowdy, trashy bunch, and we loved every second of it. But I always think it's so funny, when I kind of figured out that, hey, we're not conformists, but we all have to look alike. So in that time of me kind of starting to judge, like, what did this mean? What did this lifestyle mean? And what was I standing for? I started thinking about anarchy. And one day it kind of occurred to me that I don't know what anarchy means, or I didn't at the time. And so where did I go to discover what anarchy meant? The public library, because, I lived on the streets, and we didn't have internet. Can you believe it? I lived in a time with no internet, or computers. So I went to the public library and I found a big dictionary, and I looked up what anarchy meant. And I remember reading the description a couple of times, like the definition, kind of a little appalled, because from my understanding of what it said about anarchy was that anybody could do anything to anybody. There's no law. At the time, I weighed 90 pounds and I was 5 feet tall, and I wasn't really known for being like, badass. So it started occurring to me that maybe anarchy was not such a great thing for everybody. If you're a small person and you don't have a lot of clout, anarchy is not great. So from that day forward, I, wasn't like, hey, y'all, anarchy is terrible. Nobody can believe in it, or nobody can, promote it on our jackets. But it came off my jacket because I didn't think it was a very good idea for me. So those are my two personal experiences with censorship. And this has been an experiment to see if I can do Instagram Live and Facebook Live. I actually have my webcam and my phone going at the same time. So hopefully, and my husband is streaming in the next room. So this is really a test of the internet here. But I just wanted to say that quick little 2 cents about censorship and why I think it's good or bad, but also to urge, like when I first saw that, of course, I wanted to get my placard out and my baseball bat and, rage against the system. But when I really think about it, nobody is trying to be a monster here. I think they are coming at this from a place that they think is a place where they are protecting our youth. And what they don't understand, or maybe, this is my viewpoint for them, for the trustees at the Mid-Continent Library, I think what they're missing is that we each can choose these things. If the books on anarchy had all been taken out of the library because somebody didn't think that was a good topic to know about, I wouldn't know what anarchy was that day. And if you take something away, it becomes more interesting. Like, you want it more. I would have probably gone to the local bookstore and shoplifted all the books on anarchy just to have that answer, and angry that it was gone. So I don't think censorship is the answer. I think education and knowledge is the answer. Anytime something evil flourishes, it flourishes in darkness and ignorance. So that's my message to the trustees over the Mid-Continent Public Library System, is instead of censorship, let's have more open dialogue, more education on these topics. And hello, Hitness and Outrage. And I'm going to see you very soon, because we're doing more poetry. I think it's on my calendar. I haven't looked that far ahead, but I know it's coming. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think about censorship. And again, I really do want to approach it from a place of love, because damn, we got like too much hatred and anger going on right now. So let's not give into that. But yeah, let's raise our voices and talk about censorship sucks. And this is why, from my point of view, it sucks. Thank you, Theodore Sturgeon, for showing me I wasn't alone. And to you nuns who took my book away way back in 2nd grade, I still remember this. I will never forget. But I'm coming at it from a place of love. I don't hate you. I just am still displeased with you. And that's my 2 cents for right now. And I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Oh, now comes the awkward moment where I try to disconnect everything that I have set up.